Hey gang, I just wanted to start off by introducing you to a graphics program called Aviary.com. You've got a question set that's in your Edmodo. It's called Aviary QS1. I'd like you to pull that up as you watch this video, and you should be able to answer all of the questions in the question set. Aviary is a web-based program, so we have to go to Chrome or Explorer or any one of those that you want to use. And you want to go to www.aviary. You already see it's in my memory, aviary.com. And here it is. So first things first, we have to get you logged in to this program. So go ahead and click on login, and you'll see there's two sides here. Obviously, if you're using this for the first time, you're going to register. You're going to use the right side to register. You're going to give a username. I would encourage you to give an email. I'll come back to email in a second. And think of a password that you will remember, as always. It's always tough to think of a password and then forget it 3 days later, because then you've got to go through this whole process of having them give you an email and giving you a new password and all that. Go ahead down below as well. You want to agree to the terms of service, and I'll get back to that in a second too. And then you've got these kind of what I would think is kind of a pain in the butt, but these CAPTCHA, you've got to get these characters in the words down here. And then you can go ahead and click register, and it should set you up. I've already got a username, so I am going to log in. There we go. The minute you log in and you're all set to go, you'll notice that my username is now over to the right. This allows you to get into your account and to see what you want to do. You also have a bunch of menus in here. I'm going to go to the dashboard first as I kind of introduce you to what this program is. In essence, Aviary is a web-based, cloud-based software package that will allow you to kind of similarly do what Photoshop allows you to do, and that's to create some graphics. The difference between Aviary and something like Photoshop is a software package that sits on your computer, so you actually install it on your computer. Aviary is completely web-based. You see, I'm actually working through Chrome right now. And as I kick into some of the birds of Aviary or the programs of Aviary, you'll see I never really leave Google Chrome. Works in Explorer, works in Firefox, works in a bunch of different things. So here we are in Aviary. I want to kind of figure out what this whole thing is about. If you look to the right, these are the programs of Aviary. Question set number 1 says, how many graphic applications does Aviary offer? Well, as I look at here, you will see Phoenix, Toucan, Peacock, Raven. The audio editor is called Mina, which is actually, let me see, number 2 on your question set. So number 2 says, what is the name of the sound editor offered with Aviary? This is brand new. Mina just came out a couple of months ago. So we'll play with that a little bit later, but you just need to know that it's Mina for answer 2. So I go back to the image editors. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got Falcon. You've got this thing called Rock we won't really deal with. And then you've got one down here which is called Talon. So all in total, you've got 6 graphics programs involved in Aviary. And basically, Aviary is just set up for you to create graphics. I mentioned before, this is something called, this software piece is referred to as being in the cloud. What in the cloud means is it basically runs completely on the internet. The software runs independent of your computer. Any computer that can get to the internet is allowed to use Aviary. And then basically anything you create within Aviary or want to save will be saved to the internet. And we'll talk more about that later. But you're going to see these terms cloud computing come up a lot. And in essence, it's just basically software that runs through a browser as opposed to you having to install the software on your computer. It also allows you the ability to save on the internet, so you don't have to have these files on your computer as well. Okay, as I go down through, I'm looking at number 4, real simply, the vector editor. We talked about vector editing at the beginning in the orientation and the introduction to graphics. But the vector editor for Aviary is called Raven, pretty powerful piece of software as well, number 4. What Aviary also allows you to do is you can start something in Phoenix. You can start a graphic piece in Phoenix, and then if you want to switch it to a vector editor, you can push over to Raven. This is something known as application switching. We did it with Bridge and Photoshop. We started with Bridge. We saw all the pictures in Bridge, and then we double-clicked on the picture in Bridge, and that allowed us to push over to Photoshop and start working. Same thing here. It's basically allowing multiple programs access to the same file, and you can take that one file and push it to whatever application you want to use at any given time. So a pretty powerful thing with application switching. The terms of service you basically said yes to when you started your account. All terms of service are a contract between you and the software provider saying you will use the software based upon what they want you to use it for. That's all it is. Terms of service is just strictly a contract between the user and the software developer. So here we go. Here's Aviary. I'll go to the U menu and I'll go to the dashboard, which I'm already there, and you'll see there's menus up here. There's Create. So I can go through and start creating some stuff. You get the six graphic editors. Well, 5 graphic editors. You've got Talon, which is basically a Chrome extension, but it is an image editing package. You've got the 5 here, and then you've got the 2 music pieces, Mina and Rock, which again, Mina I'll cover, but Rock we won't talk too much. Most things you'll see in the software package these days, in any software package that's cloud-based, is this idea that you've got contacts and friends. It's the social networking piece of it. I think Facebook changed the face of the internet, and now everybody that comes out with a software package is going to have some form of contacts or ways that you can share your creation with your friends. You can also slide over and say, I want to discover some creations. There might be some pictures or images that people have created out there that you want to see or you want to look at. And this is interesting, if nothing other than just to see what other people are doing with Aviary. There's pretty cool stuff out here, quite honestly. There's a ton of stuff that you might not even think would be able to be done with Aviary that people are actually out there doing. So when you get a chance, you can look through these. And lastly, you got some tutorials over here. You've got some support links over here. You got some help. You got some forums and a blog based on Aviary, but those are more the support pieces. This is the dashboard, and this basically keeps track of, this is kind of your home base. This keeps track of everything you've ever done in Aviary. It also allows you to see kind of the social piece of this, the social media piece, where you might post a picture of something you've created and people will post back saying what they think about it. Could be a scary concept for some of you to kind of see what other people think about your pictures. But in any case, it's a neat feeling to know that people are looking at your pictures and giving their opinion. You've also got some extra buttons down here, but these are all buttons I can get to from the top as well. So there's the dashboard. Basically, when you signed in, and one of the things I wanted to iterate, and I'm just kind of going down through the question set, is you really do want to give an email address, because whenever you lose, and some of you have already found this out, whether it's Edmodo or Ngrade or something like that, if ever you're signing up for a cloud-based software package, you really want to give a valid email that you check, because if you ever forget your password, not that any of you have, but if you ever have forgotten your password, the email is the connection piece that most software packages will get back to you on. So there is always a forgot your password or something like that, some kind of link below. So it's pretty important to give a valid email, at least that you check. That's probably a good idea. So let's go through this. You've got the dashboard. You've got here's your programs in Create. You got your contacts. I'm going to slide over under the U menu, and I'm actually going to go to Profile and Account Settings. There's some things here that you can check and change, and so let's look through those right there. So in essence, here's where you would put your actual email. You can put some information in here. Again, going back to that social piece of Aviary. But you can actually put all your stuff in here in terms of your personal information, or you could be like me and not put anything and keep as much private as possible, which I tend to do on most things, most pieces of software like this. If you flip over to notification settings, notifications allow you to hear about what's going on. If somebody posts a comment to one of your images, or somebody posts a new image, or you see all of the options here where you can receive email based upon what happens on the on your Aviary site. The cool thing about Aviary too as well is you can create some kind of a picture, and then another friend could take your Aviary picture and make a change on it, or create, this is what the derivatives are, derivations of your picture. That'll allow you to have friends look at it and make some positive or sometimes negative changes to your pictures. So it's pretty cool. But notifications will allow you to figure out what the heck's going on when somebody posts something. And the last question. You've got permissions and license. There's your terms of service. So you also have the ability to figure out who can see your pictures when you do it and who can't. Linked accounts, don't worry about. That's not a big deal. It allows you to link your Twitter, or your Google, or Facebook, or any of those to Aviary. So that you hear that from time to time. It's called single sign-on. That's what they're talking about. So you got one login for your Twitter and your Google and your Flickr and your Facebook and your Yahoo and so on and so forth. But in any case, last and foremost, just understand something. When we create an Aviary graphic, it's going to be saved in your dashboard. So as you look at, I go back to my dashboard, you'll see here's a couple of creations that I've made so far. I'm actually going to walk you through a lab which creates this creation right here. But understand something. There is truly no way for you to save an Aviary creation to your desktop. Everything is saved on your dashboard page. What Aviary does is it creates a URL, and you can pass that URL on to somebody else to have them check out your picture. So again, keeping with that philosophy that everything is web-based, it just sends a URL to the picture. So when you do an assignment for me in Study Hall, you're basically going to post that URL to Edmodo, and I'm going to click on that URL, and I'm going to be able to see your Aviary graphic based on what that URL says. When I go ahead and do the first lab, you'll see, I'll slow right down when I do it, and you'll see exactly how that's done. But in any case, next lab is to actually create a graphic with Aviary, and you'll see that the Phoenix image editor is pretty powerful for a free program. It gets pretty crazy, and you'll see the comparisons with Photoshop, and I'm hoping you'll feel comfortable with it when you're done. That's it for now. We'll talk to you in a bit.